I'm MacKenzie, and I'm a musician. I started playing with my friends in high school, I think around grade 10, and that was kind of the start of it. And then doing little shows in and around Victoria, Little Fernwood, Orange Hall, White Eagle Hall. I think that was our first show. And then it just kind of was infectious and took off from there. Some people go to therapy, and some people write songs, and some people do yoga, and I chose to write songs, and that's what helps me get through the day. And I love having my guitar. I just like having a guitar around, and I like the way it feels in my hands, and I like learning new things, and I like f***ing up. My songwriting process is, I don't really have a process. Yeah, I get a melody, and maybe I'll get some lyrics, and I'll just start humming something, and then record that in my phone and come home and just work on that. And again though, like, I don't try and push it. If it's not happening within the first 15 minutes for me, it's like I'd probably just put it down. But then if I keep humming it the next day, I'm like, oh, that might work, I'll pick it back up again. And I don't really have a rhyme or reason to creative process. It's just, which is something I appreciate about music, is there is no structure. It doesn't have to be structured. I've always been fortunate to play with like really talented musicians, and I've always thought that I don't ever want to see a song through to the end if I don't like it. But if I like it, if I write something and I think that it's worthy, and then I've always had these guys who I've been able to rely on to put their parts on it. So Andrew Lang, Jamie Troy, Pat McTaggart, Luke Renshaw, Chris Van Sickle, Tyler Lieb. Those guys are what make it happen. So when you're playing with your friends, something that you created and people like paid money to come see, it's just like, I mean, even if you don't get f***ing paid at the end of the night, it's still just like, it's just have a good time. It's the best. I can't really describe it. It's a indescribable feeling. So to pay the bills, I do woodworking, and I've got a shop, and I was fortunate enough to kind of, you know, pseudo-inherit that on Pender Island from my father, who is a woodworker. He taught me everything he knows, or knew, and I'm lucky that I can try and live up to about a quarter of his talent. It makes me money, it pays the bills, and it allows me to do the music thing. And I don't think that I'd ever want to give it up. It's more fine furniture and timber framing and that sort of thing. And I grew up in a pretty woodworking-based family. Both, my dad had two brothers that were, shipwrights and contractors, and that kind of creativity was always around and encouraged. And it's a good way to make a living when you're trying to make a living off music. So yeah, I guess the correlation between woodworking and music is that you start with nothing and you end with something. So you could start the day with no song and you could pick up your guitar and have a song by the end of the day, or in 15, 20 minutes or whatever it is. And the same goes for woodworking, be it, a tabletop or a table or a timber frame, whatever. You start the day with nothing, and by the end of the week you've got something in front of you. It's kind of, I guess, creation would be the correlation, because you start with nothing and you end with something, and that's satisfying. I would like to be able to make a living off of playing music.
Never thought I'd see the day where I'd live without you, but a wayward heart is hard to tame, and the feelings just grew. Never found a way to say how I loved you more and more. The seasons changed, took the...
Love and heartbreak, two pretty strong emotions. I prefer to write about love. I mean, you can't really write about heartbreak without including love, but this last record we did, there's a lot more resentment in it because of its heartbreak material.
And is it all everlasting? And does it all just fade away? And is it all for a reason?
I mean, you have to write about it if you're a musician or if you're an artist. You have to express yourself, what you're feeling, but heartbreak is a part of life, and so I wrote about it. Not a fan of heartbreak. Opening up for the OCs is great. I've been a fan of theirs for a while, and great band, great dudes. That was a real fun time. The OCs especially though, because it's a DIY thing, like they've done it all themselves, and to see that kind of like road dog mentality, and like you can do it on your own. You don't need backing, and that kind of like old school, almost punk mentality is like, yeah, it's for sure part of the roots of like, just rock and roll. Is just, if no one's gonna f***ing sign me, I'll f*** you, I'm gonna do it myself. And so yeah, that's inspiring to see bands that have done that and get to that level. Makes you want to push harder for sure.
Tell you all right now, the sour grass is making me feel stoned. See some light, dip you down, twirl you around, and live in the same space. Now I'm trying to stand behind all the choices that I made, but I hate to admit the love I get sure ain't the love
record that's coming out December 21st, we did with Leroy Stagger at his place. I'd never worked with Leroy before. I'd met him several times and seen him around, and it was just a really positive atmosphere. Overall, in the end, it was kind of a cathartic experience.
It sounds like an instrument. Just more tangled up in my mental f***ing state right now.
Anyways.
I gotta finish writing the lyrics, but anyways, I just...
Pretty fucking loud, but...
It really... Dude, that thing's at 4 right now? It's like, I think I got it! No, you're lagging, mother. Good money. What did he spend in a year on cigarettes? Yeah, it's so frustrating.
Let's go. Let's
We
cut it
said-
again.
I guess if I were to talk about Leroy like pushing anybody, I mean, I think he pushes everybody individually, but it's not like, because these songs are already written, pretty much 90% done, you work with a producer to get somebody else's like input, and like, you know, you listen to their music if they are a musician. He wasn't really trying to, I don't think he was really trying to break barriers or break molds or anything. He was just trying to get the best of all of us respectively, which is a great thing in a producer. I had a lot of fun doing vocals with him because he'd be like, oh, well, try this, just do it again. I love working with producers that like have a musical mind, and he's got one.
As I took the leap of faith, you watched me headed for the ground. And I feel hateful towards myself.
Kind of humming it to myself. Was that sort of what you meant? Yeah, no, yeah. She forgot. I f***ed it up.
I think I went to elementary school with Hillary. I met Catherine, Hillary's sister, through Hillary. I know that Hillary was in the Vic High R&B band and has played alongside Martha Reeves and the Vandells, and like, this is the second record we've done with them, and they're just a treat to work with. Those two girls just work so well together. Something just like that would sound cool.
Okay, sure.
I'm alright in the fight for you. I'm alright in the fight for you. Sorry, were we recording that one? In the fight for you. It's gonna take time. Reason around with you. Ooh la la la, 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 ooh la la la. Are you gonna? Around with you in the fight for you. It's gonna take time. Reeling around with you. I'm alright in the fight for you. It's gonna take time. Reeling around with you. No, I was gonna. No. Lost all night listening to your lies, trying to find an ounce of truth. No, it's great. I didn't have enough air. I didn't get enough air.
Jamie Troy is arguably one of the best drummers I've ever played with. I'm not a percussionist or a drummer myself. I can barely tell time. This is just for show. Chris Van Sickle is an absolute f***ing maniac on the keys. I don't think I've ever smiled so much watching somebody else play.
Oh, now we can't deny as my hand gripped the smoking gun.
Tyler Lieb, his playing, his pedal steel on one of the songs on the album was just almost moved me to tears. Andrew Lang was my first roommate when I was 17. Luke Renshaw I also knew. He was one of the boys that, you know, took me out of my house. And fantastic bass player, amazing drummer. You know, the bass and the rhythm really make the band. And Pat McTaggart, and whether it was Pat and Jamie or Luke and Jamie.
There's no slowing down once you cut them brakes. The country is smoking and bathing in shine. But anyway, with you, we'll have the granite for mine.
I guess I try and just rip Tom Petty off as best I can and just try and like make it as Joe Walsh as I possibly can. That would be my like, is that inspiration? What do I want people to feel when they hear my music? I don't think I want anybody to feel anything that, I never set out to write music to make other people feel a certain way. It's always been like a piece of my expression. So if people feel a certain way or can relate to what I was going through when I wrote those songs, that's great. If they can relate to it, great. And if we can all have a laugh or a cry together, great. I write for myself at the end of the day. And I've always done that, and I don't play music for anybody but me, and I don't write music for anybody but me, because it's my way of expressing myself.